Ladies and gentlemen, hi. I'm finding out new things every freaking day about recording. I'm excited. So I know you guys are gonna kill me. Technically, no, you're not, because it hasn't taken me forever to come with a Dear DJ. But I'm here with a Dear DJ now. And I haven't seen you guys since the new year with Dear DJ. So happy new year to all of my folks who do tune into Just Dear DJ, because I know a lot of people love that segment of my YouTube channel. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. That's why I said, let me make sure I stay consistent and come back and hit y'all with the heat. It's crazy. I just realized last week that I forgot to submit a Mika Monday. Wow, I don't know how that skipped my mind. I don't know where my head was. But I did forget, and I think I was recording last week. And also work wasn't back, so I was kind of like still in vacation mode, and I think that's how it skipped my mind. But I will not forget this week. So tomorrow, along with this Dear DJ will be dropping tomorrow. I'm recording this Sunday, but it will be dropping tomorrow, Monday. And I'll also be dropping a good old Mika Monday, because I was dead wrong for that. I don't know how I forgot that or how it skipped my mind. And I think I didn't realize, excuse me guys, until like Tuesday. That's crazy. But in any event, I know my glasses is giving off a glare. I'm going to take them off. I just want to read the Dear DJ letter first, and then we can get into some things. Today, I'm having my usual wow. I tried to get a little freaky, though. Put a little bit of mint leaves. Really and truly, I don't know who I thought I was with that. But listen, it's doing what needs to be done. It's hitting where it needs to hit. So don't worry about that. Okay, today's Dear DJ letter, I actually received this a little bit more recent. For my folks who have submitted Dear DJ letters in the past, I see your letters. I'm going to read your letters. I do not want any smoke with you. But in any event, this letter was received really recently. It actually was received on New Year's Eve. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. I guess I have something to kick the New Year off with, and it's actually the last letter I received of the last year. I did receive a few since the new year has come in. But in any event, let's get into it, because I don't want you people waiting around for my feedback. I want to give you what you came here for. But y'all get into these new headphones. I think that I wanted to hear, I like my audio to be good. I like my audio to be good, because what I noticed that I do, and I got this, I adopted this habit during the pandemic. In the pandemic, I was getting my exercise on, so I was walking like 20,000 steps. I would walk from my house, I would walk to the Brooklyn Bridge, I would cross the Brooklyn Bridge and walk back to my house. That took me about 2.5 hours to do. I love the Brooklyn Bridge. It's my favorite place to go to clear my thoughts. I love the scenery from the bridge. I love, the tourists on the bridge. It's just something about the Brooklyn Bridge that I don't know. I can really clear my head when I go up there. So that was one of my fitness tools that I used during the pandemic to kind of keep my head off this whole COVID-19 situation, and also to get my exercise on. And when I would do so, for whatever reason, I know most folks, including myself, is really into like listening to music when they're exercising. But for whatever reason, I was listening to YouTube when I exercised, and I would do it for the 2.5 hours that it took me to walk to the bridge and come back. And what I learned with that is that's the way I utilize YouTube now, because I picked up that habit during the pandemic. So for the most part, most of the time, I'm not watching YouTube. I'm listening to it. I either have my headphone in and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, but I'm listening. I'm not necessarily watching. So I wanted to make sure for some folks who also have that habit, because people do tell me like, listen, I probably didn't watch your video, but I heard it. I wanted to make sure that my audio was on point and ready to roll for the 2023. Speaking of, I'm going to have some new additions to my recording space, especially the lighting piece. So you guys stay tuned. I look forward to that within the next maybe like 30 to 60 days. You'll see some changes and be like, hey girl, you really getting your, I don't know if you guys can hear that. You're really getting your whole, YouTuber, aka content creator on. I love that for you, right? So in any event, something is scratching on this, and I don't know if you guys can hear it on your end, but I can hear it on mine. So let me make sure. So because of that, I wanted to make sure that my audio was good. So in case you're not a person who visually looks at YouTube, but you do listen to it, you will be able to say, okay, DJ, I didn't see all your facial expressions when you record the Dear DJ video, but I heard everything you said, which is all that I asked for. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Maybe this earring. I think I'm going to have to take this off because this is not going to. Yeah, it was that. Okay, sorry about that. Look a little boyish, but that's fine. In any event, let's get into the Dear DJ letter. I'm excited about this one, right? So it says, hold on one second. Dear Deidre, I am a 30-year-old woman who's been in a relationship for the past 3 years and pregnant with my first child. I am excited about the pregnancy because I was honestly starting to believe I couldn't have children. My child's father and I have been together for the last 3 years and we have a great relationship. My boyfriend has a female best friend whom I've been cordial with since we really see each other. But in all honesty, she doesn't pose a threat to me. It's just she and I, for whatever reason, didn't connect enough to be friends. Anyway, last week, my friend sent me a TikTok of a gender reveal that went viral, and it happened to be my boyfriend's best friend. I found it odd, especially since I'm pregnant as well, that my boyfriend didn't mention to me that she was pregnant. Even more odd that he attended the gender reveal and never said one word about it, and outright weird and peculiar that at the gender reveal, his role resembled the role of what the baby's father should be fulfilling. He was right there by her side, popping a balloon to see which color would come out to reveal the gender of the baby. When the blue powder burst out their balloons, everyone congratulated them, and they hugged and appeared to be happy about all of this going on. I confronted him about this weird behavior, and he shrugged it off as him just being a good friend since her baby's daddy is not interested in being involved. Something about all of this seems like bullshit, and I'm trying not to confront this pregnant girl and have both of us give birth earlier than I expected. I need some sane advice because I'm about to lose it. Signed, pregnant and pissed. Gotta take a sip for that one. Wow. Um, wow. Okay. So as folks know, Dear Deidre letter submissions are for folks who in other circumstances, we'll be having a healing heart session so we can have some one-on-one conversation and dialogue about a situation they're being faced with. And then I will provide some feedback that might be able to assist them with that situation. But the feedback would not be on the other folks involved in it. It would be more so on that person individually, right? Because in order for you to rectify any situation that's taking place around you, you kind of want to make sure that you are stable and in the best conditions to do so, right? And that's mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually, and everything else under the sun, right? Um, that one was big. That one was big. That one was big. That one was big because this situation does require some feedback about the other folks involved. But not necessarily for me to heal those folks, but I would definitely have some questions for my pregnant and pissed homegirl PP, and and about her relationship and about her boyfriend's friend and so on and so forth. So let's take it from the top, right? You said that you and him are in a relationship. You guys are good, expecting your first child together, and he has a female friend. Let me say this as the person who is friends, which, hey, shout out my male best friend. I just spoke with him yesterday. But I am friends and have been for over 30 years with the male. And we have a very, very close relationship. Our moms are actually best friends. So that makes things even easier. We grew up together, so on and so forth. This is what I will say about the rules surrounding having male best friends and them having their lovers, you know. Me personally, I've never had an issue with any of my male best friends significant others. That was whether he was in a serious relationship with them, that was whether he was just dating them, that was whether they have children together, that was whether they were just one night stand. Anything that my male best friend, or anyone that my male best friend was romantically involved with, I never had an issue with. I remember one had an issue with me that was null and void, but I've never had an issue with any of them because I'm very clear on girl code. I'm very clear on respecting boundaries and having respect for friendships and relationships. And I'm also very clear on how things can look and what things actually are, right? So I say that to say this. In your letter, you said that for whatever reason, you and this young lady didn't connect. Now, I don't know if you meant didn't connect because I don't see her at all. I don't know if you meant didn't connect because a few times I was around her, I wasn't feeling her energy. I don't know what that meant on your behalf about why you ladies didn't connect. What I will say for me being in her predicament is I would have made sure that you and I connected. Only because if this is a relationship that my best friend is going to take serious, that means that you're going to be important to him. And anything that's important to my friend is important to me. Right? Now, does that mean that we become besties like him and I are? No, not at all. And it can or can't. That's solely up to us, but I definitely would have made an extra effort to extend my hand to be your friend in a sense, because I don't want to create any confusion about the relationship that me and your boo, aka my friend, is having. Because I feel like sometimes as a woman, if you're friends with a male, people can, make assumptions about what that friendship is about. And if you clarify in your actions and behaviors that that friendship is not about anything but a platonic relationship, then other folks don't have an opportunity to mistake it for anything else. And for me, it's important for me to show up that way to my best friend's significant other because I don't want to create friction in his relationship. It has nothing to do with me. And as a woman being in a relationship, if my significant other had a person that he swears to the heavens that he is incredibly close to, and him and I are incredibly close, what are you keeping that at a distance for? Now, granted, in friendships, folks, they may become different people when they're around their friends. So I'm not saying that every single time he hangs out with her, he should bring you along. But at the same token, I don't know if it's cool for you ladies to be at a distance when, according to what you shared, you both have very significant roles in his life. So like case in point, if something happens to him today or tomorrow, you would be the person that she would have to continuously call to figure out, hey, is he okay? What's going on? What's the status? What do I need to do? And I find that to be kind of weird and awkward for a person to be able to do so if we never really had a relationship in the past. Right? So I think that it was baby daddy's job to, kind of help you ladies form that relationship. And I think it was BFF's job to also initiate fostering that relationship. Because the woman that comes into it, 99% of the time, they're not going to be the person initiating and fostering that relationship because they may already feel uneasy when they hear that their boo has a female best friend. So I know for me, I kind of go a little extra to show that other person that I do want to engage with you because my friend shared with me that what you guys are doing is important to him. And because I respect and value our friendship so much, I want you and him to know that what you guys are sharing is important to me. So let me say, hey girl, your nails look good. Where you go? Okay, maybe one time we could catch up and go there together. That might not never happen, but me just extending the invitation to show you like I am trying to have some form of camaraderie because I don't want no problems, right? I don't want no problems with him and I don't want no problems with you. And if I have problems with you, eventually I will have problems with him. So I think that it may have been, the other folks' job to initiate that. But I also feel like once you saw that it wasn't initiated, but he's stressing the fact that she plays a big part in his life, that you should have kind of pushed the envelope a little bit. But that depends on personalities. Because what I know about some people do not intersect or intertwine relationships. So I know some people who will say, you my man and I love you, but I don't bring you to none of my family functions because my family is my family and you my man. I don't really subscribe to that thinking, but I do know that there are folks who do that. So he might just be a man that wants to keep the two worlds separate. My only concern would be why. What would be the purpose? If the purpose is, let's just say, homegirl has a strong personality and you have a strong personality. The both of you ladies have love and respect for him. So I don't think it would behoove either one of you to try to have an argument or get into a negative interaction with the other because you both care about him. So even if you do feel like, even if he did feel like, they may not really get along that well, I mean, you have to kind of throw them out there and let them figure that out. And as two grown ass women, I think that y'all should have been able to figure that out for the love that y'all have for him. But whatever, right? I know you said y'all didn't really click. I'm a little concerned about that part of the letter because it makes me feel like, one, that could have been the reason why he didn't share with you that she's pregnant and he didn't share with you that he was attending the gender reveal. But the other reason could be because maybe he's a goddamn pappy. But in any event, I won't jump the gun and shoot myself. I don't know if that would be okay with me, and it sounds like it's not okay with you. But it sounds like it's not okay with you because I think you feel like he hid these things from you. It sounds like in the letter you were saying that it wasn't just that, I didn't know she was pregnant or I didn't know about him going to the gender reveal. It was more so about, did you purposely not tell me she was pregnant, and did you purposely not tell me about the gender reveal? And that for me would resonate as an issue, because whether I like the person or not, what does it matter if she's pregnant, right? What would it do? What harm would it do for you to share with me, like, yo, my homegirl pregnant? Like, what's the harm in that? Right? Unless you expressed some vivid disdain for this girl where in the letter you didn't share that. You just said for whatever reason, we didn't really connect. You didn't say like, oh, we had an argument one time, or she overstepped her boundaries one time, or I had to check her one time. So it doesn't sound like it's enough of an issue for him to not share about this. Another thing is too, right? I'll get into in a few, the status of you guys' relationship and the boundaries of what you and him have. But I also would have to ask a few questions, right? Because in all relationships, we all have our separate time away from each other, right? Like, okay, you going to hang out, you going to do yada, 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 with whatever you going to do with that. Go out and have fun. But I know like sometimes during the course of that time, folks usually correspond, even if it's via text or a phone call or whatever the case may be. So let me ask, when he was out at the gender reveal, I could imagine this was hours. Did you speak to him? Was it like a situation where y'all was just texting? Like, what went on when he was there? Where were you? Where were you? Another thing that kind of makes this a little weird is, I don't know how popular the young lady is or he is for the TikTok to go viral, but from what it sounds like, was he really trying to hide it because he's there getting recorded when it's happening? It's sticky. It's sticky. This is sticky. This is sticky. So before I go into them, because I have no answers from those two people, let's just go back into you, right? What is the relationship between you and him exactly? Because it sounds like from what you said, we have an excellent relationship. You're about to have a child. So I could imagine there has to be, a strong level of communication between you two. It sounds like you didn't complain about him in this situation in y'all situation, so it doesn't sound like y'all have many issues. If y'all do, you didn't share them in a letter. So it sounds like everything is all good up until this situation. So I'm wondering, is there some, do you think that there's some infidelity on his part? Do you think that he was trying to hide this? Why do you think that this was weird? Is this what he normally does? So like case in point, does he normally go to brunch with her and you don't know about it and then you maybe find out at a later date or something like that? Or does he normally say, yo, me and so-and-so is going to brunch, and you know that's his homegirl, so you're like, okay, enjoy? Like, I want to know, does he normally hide the times that he hangs out with this young lady? Do you think that, I'm going to tell you what I think you think. I'm going to tell you what I think you think, and I pray that you kind of respond to my response so we can have some dialogue about if I'm wrong or if I'm right and next steps. I don't necessarily think you think that he fathered his best friend's child. I think that you think that he can overextend himself for his best friend, and I think that may bother you because she represents another woman in his life and she is not a blood relative, which honestly and truly I could identify with that feeling, because it makes sense. It makes sense. Granted, they have been friends for what sounds like a long time, and him loving and supporting her is a beautiful thing, but I think to exclude you from that, it makes the situation look really weird and odd, because I think had you been there as well, it would be like, oh my God, I'm going to call him Jonathan. Jonathan was here really supporting Stacy because, her baby father is not interested. He's being such a good friend. But guess who else was here? Jonathan and his expecting boo. Yay! But when it's like, Jonathan, ain't you expecting your own goddamn baby? So what the hell you doing over there busting balloons to check out the gender for another woman's goddamn baby? Are you okay, Jonathan? So I think where Jonathan went wrong is that it's fine to go, especially if the other man has tapped out. It's perfectly okay to step in and say, I'm going to have my homegirl back because she is not going to be stressed out through this process, and I love her and I want her to be happy. That's cool. But why couldn't you be a part of him going to assist and aid in his homegirl being happy? And I think that's probably because most times when they're together, it may be, actions and behaviors that might take place that might kind of trigger you. And I think that he knows this, on top of knowing that y'all ain't really click initially. So I think he's probably like, let me leave this world in this world and let me leave that world in that world, keeping the two separate. If I'm right, that means that he does not know how to create boundaries. That's what that means. That means that he does not know how to create boundaries. And I think that that's going to present an issue for the future of y'all relationship, because after the baby comes and he still has to be a loving and supportive friend, and homegirl wants him to continue with the same behaviors he continued with when she was pregnant, what's going to happen when he starts to get phone calls about her needing help and you, his pregnant woman, needs help as well? Then it's a pick and choose kind of thing. Then somebody is mad at me. Then I have an issue with one of the ladies that is important in my life, one of the two ladies that are important in my life, when I could just create some healthy boundaries that let folks know where everybody is in terms of prioritizing on my list of importance, right? I'm not trying to discredit homeboy for being a good friend. I actually respect that he would step up in the absence of another man, but I think that is but so much stepping up you can do when you're in your own relationship, right? And that's whether you were pregnant or not. It's but so much you can do with stepping up and you're in your own relationship. That's not going to work. And I always tell people, don't think because you're not going to do it, it's not going to get done. Don't ever think that. I think that if he would have created healthy boundaries with the friend in regards to how he maneuvers with her, now being in a relationship, she will understand that and they will be able to move forward with her knowing like certain things don't make him not my friend. It's just I can't call on him for those things. And that's okay. And that is okay. And that is okay because once you create healthy boundaries with folks, either one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to say, listen, I can't adhere to those boundaries and I don't want to be bothered with you. Or I am adhering to those boundaries and we're moving forward. And that has to happen in any relationship in order to move forward. Because if you're going to step in and support her, your friend, through her pregnancy, she's going to be expecting for him to support her after she gives birth. Are you still going to be pregnant? Will you have given birth by that time? Can he help support and do it all for the both of you? Will you be happy with that? Will she understand that? So I think, my dear, the conversation has to be had on your part around our relationship, because hiding something to that magnitude from me, it shifts if I can trust you. It shifts if I can trust you, because if you got, I can imagine, dressed up and left out that day to go and do something that you viewed was important to you. If it was so important to you and you couldn't share it with me, then that means that's something you ain't have no business doing. Because what are you hiding it for? We are expecting a brand new goddamn baby. We are in a relationship and we are trying to proceed forward as parents and as partners. Why are you hiding things from me? On top of you hiding things from me, the nerve of you to hide them from me, then allow yourself to show it to the world and have somebody else come back and share with me something you could have told me beforehand. So, yeah, I think you need to have the conversation with him about what's allowed and what's not in regards to your relationship. Because it sounds like prior to this situation, you assumed he was clear on what was allowed and what's not. Right? And I think that's what was kind of pissing you off, because it's almost like you just went and did your own thing, bro, and didn't include me and kept it from me, and now I'm not feeling this, which in all fairness, I think you made a very valid argument about, him moving weird about the situation, because like you said, if he did feel like you two like didn't click or couldn't bond, I could imagine that one of the things that bring women together, because I even seen this with Portia and Kenya on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I never thought they would get along, but they got along when they were pregnant. They got along very well when they were pregnant. For whatever reason, pregnancy brings folks together. When folks are pregnant at the same time, they bond on another level. Now, do they stay bonded after the babies come? You have to follow up with Portia and Kenya. But in any event, they did have something when they were pregnant, Shamia included. So I think that if he did want you guys to build a good relationship, that's where it could have started. Like, yo, my homegirl pregnant, you're how many ever months, she how many ever months, here, take her number, y'all could swap little birthing tools, or, whatever the case may be, to kind of gauge that relationship in unity and unison, as opposed to keeping it separate. Because as the woman in the relationship, you feel cheated. You feel cheated when something is kept from you. So I could understand your frustration with what you shared about, having to find out about a viral TikTok, you standing up there with a person that's expecting the baby looking like you the pappy. Yeah, see, that's a lot. That's a lot. And that's why I question because I know when you were saying that, you was like, this seems weird, and I kind of felt like you was going in the direction of, Negro, was you the pappy of that baby? You trying to hide it? And really and truly, I'll be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think so. I could be wrong because I don't know the brother, but I don't think so, only because I could imagine that he knew that people were recording and taking pictures of the gender reveal. And if you are putting yourself in a position to be recorded or pictures to be taken of you, when you're doing something you have no business doing, and you don't want people to find out, then that means that you ain't doing something that bad, or you clearly just don't give a fuck. And you didn't indicate anywhere in this letter that he comes across as a person who don't give a fuck about you. It sounds like your relationship is good. So he may have absent-mindedly thought like a man, which is the stupidest level of thinking I've ever seen in my life. But he may have thought like a man and said, you know what? I'm going to just keep these two things separate because I don't want to see these two bobcats pull out their claws and get the scratching, and I think that he loves his friend, and I think he goes above and beyond for his friend, and I think that's a beautiful thing. But I also think that he's in a relationship, and if he is going to spread himself so thin regarding his friendship, the least that he could do is make his woman aware of that, right? And I think had you known, it wouldn't have stung, the way it did, because finding out through somebody else something about the person that you're in a relationship and pregnant with and pregnant by and building a future with is not a good space to be in for your relationship. I also would have to question your feelings surrounding, again, you and this young lady's connection, because for like you said, for whatever reason, it just never connected. Now, why? You didn't get into. It just never connected. I am a person who's very big on energy, so I know when connections just cannot be in sync. I get that. I get that sometimes connections cannot, they just, for whatever reason, they can't go hand in hand, right? I feel like that's really contingent upon the people. And I feel like for the most part, that is a personal thing. I remember I would tell my boyfriend all the time, I would never be attracted to a man that outwardly and blatantly disrespects women. I don't care how fine you are. If you open your mouth and it's bitch this and hoe that, and these hoes ain't good for nothing, all they do is suck dick, and just that blatant outright disrespect for women. Again, you could be the finest man on the planet. My energy and your energy won't connect. I will be turned off immediately. It would be nothing that you could do to bring me back. I'm not connected to you. And again, you could not be talking to me or about me. I just would not connect with you. So somebody else somewhere brought your name, like, yo, so-and-so. I'll be like, They're like, you ain't y'all cool? No, we're not. Oh my God, why, what happened? Our energy it just didn't connect. But I have my reasoning. I can't dig men that disrespect women. I cannot get with that. So that's my personal feeling. Does he have to stop doing that? No. He can do whatever he wants. He's a grown man. That has no bearings on me. But my personal issue would be with that individual, that's something that I don't like personally. That's on me. So most times when you don't connect with folks, it's because either A, they blatantly did something to you, and for whatever reason, you're not trying to verbalize that, so you keep saying things like, we just didn't connect. Or B, is something personal within them that you just can't get with. And you didn't allude to in the letter, when I met her, she was abrasive or disrespectful or anything that would suggest y'all had a negative interaction. So I think the lack of connection might come from something personal. I don't know on whose behalf is with, because that's another thing. I have also interacted with folks where they have had something personal with me and they didn't want to verbalize it. So therefore, in turn, I stayed away from them, and not because I didn't like them. It's just because I could sense that they had a personal disconnect with me. And I don't want to entertain that energy, because it never, in my opinion, it never turns out positive, because most folks don't get past that personal issue, right? So like what I said, I don't see myself ever being okay with understanding that, you just disrespect women. I'm not going to be okay with that. So I need to stay away from you. It's no terms that I'm going to come to be like, you know what? His mother didn't show him no love, and then his grandmother tried to kill him, and then his aunt stabbed him. So I understand why he disrespect women. So you could do that around me, and I'm going to give it a pass. I'm never going to feel that way. So I'm going to always have that personal issue with that individual. And because I'm aware of that, I'm going to stay away from you. That's why we couldn't connect. So I don't know what flames was sparking off this young lady, or what issues she knows with you, she has with you, that you just didn't want to disclose in this letter. But something is not right there. Something is not right there, because it would have been nothing to connect if there wasn't anything personal in between y'all. And I think that whatever the personal issue is, and whoever behalf it's on, baby daddy is very much aware of it. Very much so. I don't know if BFF said don't bring that hoe around me. I don't know if you said I ain't checking for her and I don't want to do. I don't know. But whatever it is, he's aware of it. He's aware of it. He's very much aware of it. And that's why he made the extra effort to keep it separate. And I get your concern. This is the person that you're in a relationship with, and you guys are having a baby. So if information is going to be kept separate, that's a separate conversation for you and him to have for the future of your relationship. Oh, so we keeping things separate? So let's lay down how do we get to pick and choose what gets kept separate and why? And why? If 9 times out of 10, when you're in a relationship with a person, you inquire about things you wouldn't inquire about normally. So, hey, why you wore that blue shirt that day? That's something that you wouldn't ask nobody else, but that's your boo. So you asking, you know what I'm saying? You start to acquire, and also people start to share things that they wouldn't normally share with other folks, So when you are making it your business to withhold information from me, what are we doing? Is that a decision that we made collectively? That, when it comes down to things pertaining to your best friend, don't tell me? That couldn't be the case. Else you wouldn't be here saying, I asked him about, when the hell was that? It would be, oh, no, I understood why he didn't tell me, because I've been told him, don't share none of that stuff with me. So right now, it's a crack in the pavement, and that crack is in your relationship. And not to say it's something y'all got to break up over and all of this nonsense. I mean, that would kind of depend on the extent of his situation with the friend. But if it's just that he feels like these are two worlds that need to be kept separate, if you're not okay with that, that's a conversation that you and him need to have. Like yesterday. Because it sounds as though, you were offended and embarrassed when you were sent a TikTok of your man at a gender reveal playing a role of the pappy, and you had no idea about this. I think that presents an issue for you. And let me not say I think it does, because that's why you wrote in. I think that the first conversation needs to be, let's sit down and discuss, if we're withholding information from one another, why we would be withholding information from one another, how do we determine what information to withhold, and what the hell just went on with this situation? Because remember, this is a person who in his life, I can imagine, is important to him. Is it realistic for y'all worlds to be separate? Because my next question is, if you and him decide to get married, will she be invited, or will she still be in that separate world? Are you invited to the baby shower because you were not invited to the gender reveal? Are you okay with not being invited to the baby shower? Is she okay with inviting you? Is there some energy on your behalf? Is there some on hers? If it's not on either one of you guys and he just feels that way, the conversation with him again has to, why do you feel that way? What do you think is going to happen? Because a lot of times too, guys go off the past. He may be feeling like maybe she met another girl that he had in the past and they had smoke and that was a whole lot of drama for him. So he don't want to see that happen again. You never know where his feeling of keeping those worlds separate come from. But I think you definitely have to inquire, because from what you explained in this letter, you didn't make it seem like y'all was going through something and y'all wanted to break up. You didn't make it seem like y'all was having problems in this relationship prior to this. It just sounds like this one isolated incident happened. And incidents happen in all relationships. So it's just a matter of overcoming it. You have to get to the bottom of, your feelings surrounding the best friend, his feelings surrounding the best friend's feelings surrounding the both of you, and what you guys are going to do moving forward. Because this is not going to work if both of you ladies are two important people in his life. So I don't know, baby girl. I did my best. My only apprehension with this letter here is I have a lot of questions for the other party involved and the other parties involved. And I also need some more backhand information on you and the friend, because the whole line of, for whatever reason, we just didn't connect. I would need to actually hear the entire rundown of the times that you guys were around each other or in each other's presence, because that whole just didn't connect piece doesn't sit well with me. I think it's more to the story. But I was not there. I do not know. In any event, I hope that this provided you some insight, which is always what I like to do. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go subscribe, like, comment, and share. Make sure you guys, hey, I meant to share that I'm an Amazon influencer. I will be dropping the link to my Amazon store in the description. Right now is not much there. It's just I have some really cute black dresses that make all my girls look slim and trim. Black does it for us. I have some office friendly perfume there. I also put up a few of the things that I bought from Amazon, and I'll let you see how I looked in them to see if it's something you want to purchase. I absolutely love Amazon, so it made all the sense in the world to become an influencer for them. And you can collect your coin at the same time. So in any event, I'm going to drop the link in my description for my Amazon store, and you guys can go check out some of those things. If you make a purchase, I get a percentage, especially when you go through my store, yada yada yada. So thank you for the support. Make sure you go subscribe, like, comment, share. Another thing is, let me send a big and huge thank you so much to my subscribers who liked, shared, and commented on my Blueface and Krishan Rocks playlist. I am up to over 3,000 views on the last episode I reviewed, and 2,000 plus on the interview before that, on a review before that one. So I'm so excited. Thank you guys for sharing. It definitely got me more subscribers. I'm at 441 now. I'm trying to hit the 500 mark within the next 30 days because I'm trying to get to 1,000 and get things rolling, right? So make sure you continue to check out that playlist. If you have never, go check out the Crazy in Love, the Blueface and Krishan Rock reality show playlist on my YouTube channel. They've only had, I think tonight was the 4th show. I'm going to check when I get off the phone with you guys, and I'll review it tomorrow and share it. But they've only had 3 episodes, and they have been very entertaining. Also, I am reviewing The Best Man, the final chapters. I've only reviewed 1 episode thus far. I promise I'm going to put up the review for episode 2 within the next couple of days. Check that out as well. Let me hear your feedback. Alrighty, I won't forget Mika Mondays tomorrow. In any event, there will be some aesthetically pleasing changes coming your way. So get ready. Happy Sunday. Again, do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on my next Dear Teacher.